going to start out with Max Payne, starring Mark Wahlberg as Max Payne. And it has a Sin City type detective animation feel to it, but not exactly as animated. I think the vibrancy of the colors and the vibrancy and neutral, if it can be both neutral and vibrant, is what gives it that feel. But here we have the lead character whose wife and child were murdered. So he sets out to find out how it happened and who did it. His wife worked for a pharmaceutical company. Surprise. His wife worked for a pharmaceutical company, and they were working on this major drug, it turns out. But in the process of looking for who did what, he goes and runs upon this freaky little party thrown by this your stereotypical Italian dude who's like, what are you doing here? Because he was a stool pigeon for him in all of his detectiveness. So in the meantime, he runs into some chick who tries to seduce him. And he takes her home, which baffled the crap out of me. He's supposed to be a detective, and he took her to his home, like for real, where he lives. So they walked up in there. She's already just got on a camisole, so she's pretty much undressed, but she decides to hop up on the bed and proceeds to tell him, I can even pretend to be your wife. I know you miss her. And all of his little turn-on-itness gets turned off, and he tells her to get up out of there. I'm like, but you invited her to your house. But anyway, in the meantime, he learned that she had this tattoo of some wings on her wrist, which becomes important throughout the first 3/4 of the storyline. In the meantime, his former partner is looking at some of the doing some old detective work, looking at some of the old pictures from the crime scene of his wife. And in those pictures, one of the murderers who he ended up killing, another one got away, but the one that he ended up killing, it turns out has a picture of him face down, wrist up, with the tattoo. So sure enough, there must be a connection. So as he's on his mission to find out who committed these horrendous murders, took his family from him, he ends up going to do research at his wife's former company, where he finds out about a drug that they were given to the military so that they could feel invincible. The problem is the drug worked on 1% of the people that took it, and it was extremely addictive. Pardon my laughter, but I don't know how much money you expect to make on a drug that's effective on 1% of the people who take it. But that comes into play where another side of the drug is that it is extremely addictive, that where you even take it once, whether it works effectively on you or not, that you are extremely addicted to it. And I guess, yeah, that's where the money comes in. But in the process, you have these hallucinations of these evil bird creatures, and how that relates to the tattoo, why it makes them want to go get a tattoo, I'll never know. But the bottom line is, as you can obviously can be predicted, so it's not necessarily a spoiler. If you have half a brain, you can put it together that the pharmaceutical company, big shot people, super deluxe owner, hot shots, tycoons were behind it, and he ends up finding out and going after them. But in the process, he has to go through some this and some of that, and it's all action and exciting, and you're wondering what's going to happen next. But in the movie Max Payne, you will enjoy the ride along with Max Payne to find out what he has to endure to get to the bottom of the murder of his wife and child. See Max Payne. It's good.